This video is brought to you by Aaron Clarey, author of The Curse of the High IQ. Are you a Sheldon Cooper of the world? Are you smart, but normal people just seem beneath you? Then make sure you read Curse of the High IQ by Aaron Clarey, so you can get the most out of life without compromising your dignity or intelligence. Link in the description below.
The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Two of our friends from the show sent me these images that you just gotta talk about, because one thing I like to do on World Class Bullshitters is break records. And while I'm not breaking this record personally, I'm bringing to your attention the record for the cheapest Star Wars figures ever sold at retail. So real quick, over at a local Walgreens, good friend of the show, Christopher Strunk, found this Rey, and he says, Gay Socialist Justice Warrior Rey is just 99 cents at Walgreens. Well, it seems like a fair price for her. She's in her crate costume, with a lightsaber and her staff, and her little blaster pistol that Han Solo gave her. Ooh. And it's $1. Back in February when I found this stacks and stacks of dollar Star Wars figures, Rey had sold before that, so people did want her, but for $1 nowadays, not so much. I think after more people saw The Last Jedi and it set in that the movie was actually as shitty as they thought it was, people are backing off from their Star Wars purchases. But that's not really the reason I made this video. Yeah, 99 cents for a Rey figure is bad and embarrassing, but it's nothing compared to what I'm about to show you now. Quick question. What would you pay for this Cassian Andor action figure? Retail for $19.99? Nope. How about $17.50? Nope. 2 for $10? Nope. $5? $1, Bob. No. Well, if you wouldn't even be willing to pay $1 for some Captain Cassian Andor and Jyn Erso figures, have I got a deal for you. Because over at Walmart, you can get them for 3 cents a piece. Yeah, I'm not exaggerating. Now, I've been a long-time Star Wars fan, and I've never, ever seen Star Wars figures go for 3 pennies. Now, this information came from our good friend Aaron Zane Plumley over on the World Class Bullshitters official fan page, so if you'd like to send in information and be a part of the show, do so, like these guys did. He sent me the 3 pictures. First off, he sent me a cart full of figures, and damn, are they sad-looking. Secondly, he sent me a picture of them lined up in his home. And third, he sent me the receipt. Now, all these figures, as well as something called May Contain for 98 cents, on top of a $1 donation, brought the total to $3.20. If you're a hardcore Star Wars fan, you can build yourself an army of Jyn Ersos and Cassian Andors for 3 pennies apiece. Now, that's a deal you can't beat anywhere else. But it's also an embarrassment to Hasbro, Star Wars, and Disney. Which is good, because at this point they deserve to have mud in their eye, shit on their face. They just need to be brought down to reality. Because look, Kathleen Kennedy can sit in her ivory tower, and she can count her money, and she can hire these diversity hires and tout about it on, Esquire and all these other places. But in the real world, Kathleen, and people over at Hasbro, and people at Lucasfilm, Star Wars means jack shit right now. See, you can only play up on people's nostalgia and emotions for so long until they decide, I've had enough. And a lot of people have had enough. And the market has had enough. And that's where your money comes from. Jason Jett and Sean Blofeld and everybody else out there could tell you on Facebook and tell you on Rebel Scum and Jedi Temple Archives how much they love Star Wars. And those people, that small combined group of people, can get stuff like the Sail Barge made. But what they can't do is make up for the fact that your products sit on stores to be purchased by no one. Then they have to be pennied out to get out of stores because they're taking up valuable retail space. And like I said, that's an embarrassment. Hell, I'm embarrassed to own Star Wars figures when I know that I could wait long enough and get them for 3 cents. I mean, that's just bad on my part. People, if you knew that you could get shit that you wanted for 3 cents instead of $20, wouldn't you wait? Wouldn't the world be a better place? Nah. Stores would just fail to exist because everyone's waiting for that magical price of 3 pennies. Now, why Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor? 2 reasons. They suck, and their figures are really boring to look at. Cassian Andor comes in his not-so-Hoth gear, and Jyn Erso comes with a scarf over her head. Unless you're a scarf enthusiast, or a winter gear enthusiast, you're not really looking at something visually appealing. Like, they can make stormtroopers till the end of time, and people are going to buy them because they look cool, and they serve a purpose in the film. These figures don't look cool, and their purpose in the film was to die. A lot of kids don't buy toys based off dead characters. That's why Han Solo wasn't killed in Return of the Jedi. Because they want that Han Solo money. You can get a Bespin figure and a Carbonite figure and an Endor figure, and an original Cantina gear figure, and one day in the future, from your cereal boxes, you can get a Han Solo and Stormtrooper gear. When you keep a character alive, you have so many marketing possibilities. When you kill these ones off, they're just there. I know what you're thinking. Donnie Yen and his not Chewbacca Asian counterpart figures aren't here. Well, those came out later and in smaller numbers, and the collectors bought those up because they were harder to find. These figures, the lead-in figures for the series, are the ones that seem to be flooding the shelves. See, when I went out and filmed my initial episode about the toys, you could find Constable Zuvios and Finns and Reys and even a first-gen Kylo Ren out in the wild still. Those were the first waves of the Black Series to come out with the new packaging for the Disney saga. What happens is that Hasbro shoves out so much in the beginning, congests the shelves, people aren't interested, and they sit there and they wait, and then they rot, and they turn to compost, and then they just ruin your Toys R Us businesses. And that's no different what happened with Rogue One. While you still had plenty of Episode 7 stuff out there, here comes the Rogue One train, and it crashed into the remainder, the wreckage, if you will, of the Episode 7 wreck, and then you just got more of an accident. And then a few months later, barreling down that same track, comes Episode 8 with Rose Tico at the horn, and she's on a suicide mission to fuck up Star Wars. And she's done a good job at it. And now we're in a place where, nearly 2 years later, this. Now, historically speaking, toys don't sit on shelves for this long. A lot of times they will re-release stuff and they'll just remake it and it'll come back out. So you may be able to find like a Director Krennic at your local store, but Krennic was re-released. I believe K2SO had a re-release. Grand Moff Tarkin has a re-release coming up in the future, as well as Kira, the character no one's going to give a shit about after Han Solo because, one, she's going to die, and two, most action figures for little boys that are girls don't sell or don't exist. I mean, go look at the Toy Galaxy videos or Retro Blasting. They talk about how 80s toy lines didn't have many of the girl figures because the little boys didn't want them. From a completionist standpoint, personally, I like having the ability to get the chicks, like with the X-Men. You want Rogue and Storm and Jean Grey and Psylocke because they're cool. But Jyn Erso's lame. She doesn't have a cool costume. She doesn't have cool superpowers. She doesn't really lead. She's just kind of there. Realistically, she's the most useless character in Rogue One. Everyone else was more compelling. Not Jyn and her father, Gavin or Galen, or yeah, Galen's his name. Those are stupid names. Jyn and Galen. Whoop-de-doo. Hanging out on Octu. Middle of Ireland. Fuck 'em. So yeah, this has been an unrehearsed rant. I'm just blown away by 3-cent Star Wars figures. More than anything, though, I want to know what you guys think about these 3-cent Star Wars figures. Would you buy them for 3 pennies? I'm going to admit, I would. If every Star Wars figure in a store was 3 cents, I'd buy up everything. I don't know what I would do with them, but I would have them for future reference. You know what I would do? Have you guys seen the movie Old School? There's a scene, there's multiple scenes actually, where Will Ferrell gifts people a bread maker. Now, the joke of the film is that it's the same bread maker that he got at his wedding, and he just keeps trying to give it away. He even tries to give it to a 7-year-old kid at a birthday party. That makes me laugh. I really, really like that joke. The me version of that joke would be, at every birthday party, at every Christmas, at every event, Columbus Day, Life Day, Calendar Day, English Language Day, Yom Kippur, Hanukkah, you name it. I don't even have to know the person. I would bring them a fully wrapped gift. And inside of that wrapping paper would be a Black Series Cassian Andor or Jyn Erso, or whatever Star Wars figure I could acquire for 3 cents. Adult, child, young, old, I don't care who it is, they're going to get one of these. And I would do this all over. Like, I'd keep a couple in reserve in my car. Like, have you ever gone to a restaurant and someone's having a birthday party? I would just walk up. It could be Grandma, it could be little Timmy, but one of them is getting a wrapped Star Wars figure. Why? Because I paid 3 cents for him, and it'll make me laugh. I mean, what would you do if some strange giant just handed you a gift-wrapped box, you open it up, and it's a Star Wars figure, and by the time you turn around to say thank you or what is this, he's gone. I don't know why it makes me laugh, but it makes me laugh, and that's what I do with all these. So, I asked you yesterday, what would you do with the Tower of Tico? What would you do with the Brigade of Bullshit? These figures. Best answer will get read on next week's episode of World Class Bullshitters. But until then, tell me in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it everywhere you can. If you'd like to, join our Facebook page. It's a lot of fun. It's a really great community, and it's getting to a point where it's thriving now. We have over 1,000 members between the two pages, and there's always something to talk about. If it's entertainment related, it's got a home on World Class Bullshitters Facebook pages. If you're a super fan of this channel and you can make it happen, join our Patreon page. $1 a month goes a long way. $5 goes even further. That's only 17 cents a day. What can you do with 17 cents a day? Well, you could buy almost 6 of these Star Wars figures at this price, but I doubt you're going to find them. So, unless you can buy these for this price, help out World Class Bullshitters so we can make it grow. And if you can't, not a problem. We still appreciate that you watch all of our videos and that you're here to hang out with us and have some fun. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I'm not going to tell you what it's about yet, but it's something I've never done before, and I think you're going to like it.